to another episode of Marriage Matters
Matters
with Glenn and Tanya Coleman.
Hello.
And, we're just here, guys, just sharing with you, encouraging you every week through these videos, through our Sunday Live drives, or in person, we try to make it a habit, to reach out to other couples and just try to build a word that we like to use. We were talking about this earlier, but building community.
Yes.
And just really getting to the point to where we can do life together.
Yes.
You were never designed to be an island all off
alone.
to your own.
That's correct.
And be isolated. We want to build community. And, when you look at, the early church, that's what the early church was.
Absolutely.
It wasn't, I like to say this, it wasn't an organization as much as it was a community.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing some things more in the future around community. But, we just want to thank you for being, just following us on Instagram, liking the Facebook page, watching the videos on Facebook, subscribing and watching the videos on YouTube. We're just so...
just really excited.
Yeah, excited about what's going on around marriage and family. So with that, we want to highlight our viewer of the week.
Yeah, so this week we are highlighting Miss Crystal Sowells. Crystal commented, this was actually on the Elephant in the Room episode that we did. She said, "I've learned and am often reminded from time to time how important it is to communicate, but also how you communicate too. Hashtag listen to understand." And Crystal, we want to say thank you so much for watching. I know that Crystal is engaged, so she's watching these videos now. She and her fiance Ryan are watching these videos now, and they're building themselves up and preparing themselves for their marriage. You've also seen some of Crystal's work on some of our previous shows, some of the t-shirts that we've worn, the love t-shirt. I don't know, I can't think of another one, but the company is called Be Fire, Be Light. Be Fire, Be Light. You will find some of the best quality t-shirts with the best messages on her website, Be Fire, Be Light. And I always say this to people when they ask me about those shirts. Not only does it have a great message, but that is probably the most comfortable t-shirt that I have hanging in my closet. It's just really, really good quality. So shout out to Miss Sowells and to her brand, Be Fire, Be Light.
Yep. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for the shares. And, leave us a comment. And every week we'll highlight a viewer of the week.
Yes.
And we just thank you guys so much for all the support. So this week, what we want to talk about is how to deal with division.
Great.
And I like to say the word division. I like to say division. In other words, there's two visions. One of the shows that Tanya and I, we like to watch. So, every couple should have a show. We have a couple of shows that we usually watch. We'll DVR or we'll watch it on demand. But right now, the show that we're really into is This Is Us.
This Is Us.
So we're big fans of This Is Us.
Yes.
If you haven't watched it, take an opportunity to go out and watch it. But that's one of the things that we do to kind of bond. Something that we do together as a couple. But anyway, in this last week's episode, two of the main characters, one of the couples, the married couple there, they're in this stage of their life where, he has this, and I'm not going to try to give up, if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to try to give away too much of the show.
No spoilers.
But he's in a season of his life where, there's something that he's passionate about. And I think she is in a season of her life where there's something else that she's passionate about.
She's in a transitional season.
Well, I think they both are.
Yeah, that's true.
They both are.
Yeah.
And the thing that they are passionate about is pulling them in different directions.
Yeah.
And both things are good things. Both things, they are each I think, equally passionate about the thing that's pulling them apart. And so I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week and how they come to resolve this. Maybe in our next taping we'll come back to that.
Right.
But that often happens in marriage to where, there's something that I'm really passionate about. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm passionate about going back to school, and I want to go back to school. And in order for me to go back to school, maybe, I may have to just work part-time. And, Tanya is also passionate about starting a business. And so she's trying to start a business, and she had to leave her job to start the business. And I'm now working part-time, so there's not as much money coming into the house.
Right.
But we're both equally passionate about, what we're trying to do or what we're trying to get started. So in those situations, how do you work through division in marriage?
One of the key things that I believe that couples need to have is a vision for the marriage.
Okay.
And creating, what it is that God put this marriage together for. Why did God put us together as a couple? What's the purpose or the reason behind that? Because for me, that's a foundation. So if we're ever going in different directions, we can always come back and say, hey, how does this fit into the vision? Why does this marriage exist in the first place?
Right.
So having a purpose or a vision for your marriage, as well as we created like a creed for our family. That is something that brings us back to the basics of who we are as a unit, as in I always say, the marriage is an entity, so is the family. It always brings us back to those foundational beliefs. And even when we feel like we're going in different directions, it's good to come back and review those things to get us back on track and pull us back in together. And then we begin to figure out how can we maneuver through this season that we're going in right now.
Okay. So when you were saying that, I was reminded of the scripture that says that where there is no vision, people perish.
Right.
So you got to, and you said it key. You and your spouse have to have a single vision.
Yeah.
And that comes from planning. You have to have those discussions. Preferably. Thank you. Before you get married.
Yes.
You need to have those conversations.
Yes.
What do we stand for?
Right.
What does this marriage stand for?
Right.
What are we about?
Right.
Are we about this, or are we about that? What's our end goals?
Right.
What is our financial future?
Right.
What do we want that to look like?
Right.
And so what that does for you is it helps you to choose things that are going in the same direction.
Right.
And even though they may be different in nature, they both end up in the ultimate. Or they both go ahead.
They both, although they may be different in nature, as you said, they both are headed in the same direction to the same ultimate goal and purpose, the same destination.
Yeah. And the other thing that does is it helps you to strategize for those things, so like if I'm going to go to school, here, it gives you the opportunity to plan that out. Okay, I'm going to go to school. It's going to take me a year and a half to finish. So we're going to need you to keep working.
Right. Stick it out.
And then once I'm finished and I can get a job or whatever the plan is. But if you don't have a vision, if you never sit down, and I think communication is probably one of the. It's like sometimes we don't even know, if your spouse wants to go back to school.
Right.
I mean, your husband or your wife may not even know that that's a dream or that's an ambition that you have, or they may not know that you want to start that business, or you got what I'm saying?
Or you assume that he knows that. We talked about that 5 years ago. He knows that I want to go back to school. Well, he may not remember. You may not have communicated to him that, hey, I'm ready, to do this. I'm seriously, wanting to pursue this now, so that you can come back to the table and make that plan, as you stated earlier.
Write the vision, make it plain.
Make it plain.
And I'll say one other thing, but it would be a tragedy for you to get 20 years down the road in your marriage and you are resenting the fact that you never got an opportunity to do what you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because you guys never sat down and really had that vision meeting
good.
To bring all those ideas, and all that stuff is in you for a reason.
Yes.
God put it there.
Yes.
It's not designed to pull you away from your spouse.
No.
I guarantee you, if you would just sit down with your spouse and really just talk about the things that are inside of you, the gifts, the dreams, the goals, the ambitions that are inside of you, and you'll find that a lot of those things will line up.
Yep.
And you've been put together to mesh those things together and to bring something great out in the earth.
Absolutely.
But it happens through vision.
It happens through vision.
Not in division. There
That's
can only be one vision.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we said something today that's going to help you. So we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.